Okay, day 2 of rate of change. So in the classroom, I do like to do a second day of rate of change because I find students have a harder time with this, so it takes a little bit of extra practice. So hopefully last lesson you were able to follow and practice the questions from the textbook. Today I'm going to go over 2 more examples and then I'll send out a worksheet that you can practice more rate of change. Okay, so what I want to start out with is going over the steps. So sometimes it's called slope, okay? The rate of change is also finding the slope of the line. So remember, your first step is to pick 2 points on the line. Pick 2 points on the line. Okay, your second step is to stack the 2 points. Okay, one on top of the other. Okay, your third step is to calculate your rise. Okay, being to subtract the y coordinates, okay, of those 2 points. Subtract the y coordinates. Remember, each point is going to be x, y, okay, so they're stacked like this. So for your rise, you are going to subtract the y coordinates, okay? For the run, that's when you subtract the x coordinates. Okay, so that's the rise, this is the run, this is the rise. Okay, recall what I said last time as well, that when you are figuring out your rise and your run, if you've decided to subtract say this is 0.1 and this is 0.2, okay, if you've subtracted the y coordinate of 0.2 from 0.1, okay, so subtracting that way, you have to subtract in the same order for your rise, for the x coordinates, okay? And your last step is to divide, okay, so rate of change is equal to the rise divided by the run. Okay, so I'll just leave those steps because we will refer back to them. So our first example, so I'll draw out the graph, and just like last time, if you guys can draw it out with me. Okay, so let's say we have a graph and you are pulling on a spring, okay? So this is the extension of how far you've pulled that string, okay? And that is going to be in centimeters. And along the bottom is the force. Okay, so force is going to be going up by 1. So let's start at 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I'll go up to 8. Okay, and the extension is going to go by 10s. So 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. We'll go up to 70, okay? So your line should look something like this, okay? So the examples that I did last week, the points were already given to you. But if you're just given a line like this, you should be able to find the points yourself. Okay, so I'm going to find an easy point here. This one looks like a pretty easy point, okay, right here. And that point would be my x coordinate first, so 1, and then my y coordinate. So that point there would be the point 1, 10. And this line really should be a little bit steeper, but let's just say this one is here, and this should be the point 3, 30. Okay, it's not perfect. I'm drawing it on here, but the line, if I want it the same as my lesson, is going up the same as this, okay? So basically, if I'm not given any points, okay, I can find the points by just picking a point on the line and saying, okay, my x coordinate's 1 and my y coordinate's 10. And here's a point here, my x coordinate's 3 and my y coordinate's 30, okay? So So there's my 2 points. That's my first step, right? Pick my 2 points. My second step is going to be stacking those points. So let's stack them 3, 30, and 1, 10. Okay, that's step number 2. Step number 3 is calculating my rise. So my rise is going to be subtracting, let's do this. My rise is going to be subtracting my y coordinates. So rise is going to be equal to 30 minus 10, which is 20. Okay, and my run is going to be subtracting my x coordinates. So my run is going to be 3 minus 1, which is equal to 2. Okay, and then lastly, we divide. So that's steps 3 and 4. Step 5 is my rate of change is equal to rise divided by run, which is 20 divided by 2, which is 10. Okay, so that would be my rate of change. And if you were going to put units, it would be centimeters divided by newtons. Okay, so that is one example there. Note too that the rate of change is positive when the line is going up. Okay, my rate of change is positive. Okay, next example. So I'm just going to erase this one. Okay, so this example is the changing value of a car. And along the y-axis, we are going to have the value of the car, okay, in dollars. So this is value in dollars, okay, and along the x-axis is years, okay. So this is my x-axis and this is my y-axis. So the years is just going to go up by 1, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And my value is going up by 5 thousandths. So 0, 5,000, 10,000, 15,000, 20,000, 25,000, and 30,000. Okay, so we are going to start at year 0. We're starting at about right in the middle, which would be 27,500. Okay, and we're going to go down. I'm just going to put in, just so I kind of get my line somewhat accurate. Okay, something like that. So this line is going to go down like that. Okay, so as you can tell over time, right, the value of the car is going to go down. Okay, so our first step, referring back to here, is pick 2 points on that line, and then we're going to stack those 2 points. So let's pick these 2 points. Okay, you would just have a line with no points, and you would just see, okay, what looks like some easy points that I could pick, right? Some easy numbers. Really, you could pick any line or any point along that line. So I'm going to pick those 2 points. So those 2 points are my x first, right? Each point is the x coordinate written first, and then my y coordinate. So this coordinate is, or this point is going to be 0 for my x. Okay, so I'll right here first, 0, and then this is 27,500. Okay, that's what that point is, x, y. This point is 4 for my x coordinate, and 20,000 for my y coordinate. Okay, So there's my 2 points. I'm going to stack them. Okay, and it doesn't really matter the order that you stack them. Let's stack them like this. So there's point 1, and there is point 2. Okay, so we've picked our 2 points. That's step number 1. We've stacked them. That's step number 2. Step number 3 is to calculate my rise. Okay, which is going to be the difference in these x coordinates, or sorry, the y coordinates. So 27,500 minus 20,000. So that's going to leave you with 7,500. Okay, so that's my rise. My run is going to be the difference in my x coordinates. We call xy. So my difference in my x coordinates, and I recall that I need to go in the same order. Here I went 0.1 minus 0.2. Here I have to go 0.1 minus 0.2. So that would be 0 minus 4, which is negative 4. Okay, so I've got my rise, I've got my run. My rate of change is going to be equal to 7,500 divided by negative 4. So you would go to your calculator, as I will go to mine, and punch in 7,500 divided by negative 4, and you get negative 1,875. That's your rate of change. Okay, so then you should ask yourself each time after you calculate the rate of change, what does that mean? Like, what's that number? That's telling you that every year the value of the car is going down by about $1,875. Okay, so that's it. So those are your 2 review questions for calculating rate of change. I will send out a worksheet to practice that, and let me know if you're having any trouble with calculating rate of change.